Om Namah Shivaya. Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankarācharyamध्यamām Asmadācharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Bhavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning.
Good morning, Acharya.
Okay, so I just see recording is in progress. Okay, fine. So we are at verse number 22 of chapter 11. So we will chant. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha
Raditya Vasavo Yecha Sadhyaha
Rudraditya
Veshinau Marutaschoshma Pascha
Vishveshvinau
Dharvayaksha Surasiddha
Vishveshvinau Marutoshyamapavashya
Gandharvayaksha
Vikshante Tvam Vismitaschaiva Sarve
Vikshante Vishvaiva Sarve.
So Arjuna continues with his whatever he's saying. And here he's saying that there's an implication here, that Arjuna and Sanjaya are not the only ones who can see Vishwarupa. Anybody who has, worked upon the Ahankara Mamakara, anybody who has understood the Lord as the universe, for him, Vishwarupa is always available, because Vishwarupam is not something which comes into being later stage. It comes into being the moment the world itself is created. And why do we not see it? Because for us, there is the veil of Ahankara and Mamakara. And the universe seen through the veil of Mamakara and Ahankara is my very own personal viewpoint, was personal projection, which is called Jiva Srishti. And when I work on this Ahankara and Mamakara, when I reduce it, understand that this personal vision is not the real vision, that there is a Ishvara Srishti, then I can appreciate many more things. And what are they? This is what is being talked about here. Rudraha. So Rudras are a group of 11 Rudras. They are all various celestial beings in higher lokas. And just like in this world, we have different levels of wealth in colonies. In Swargaloka also, there are many more divisions. Some people have had more punyam, some have less punyam. So there are different varieties of celestials. And these varieties are known by different names. So the Rudras is one group. They are 11 in number. Adityas is another group. They are 12 in number. The Vasus, called Vasavaha, they are another group. They are 8 in number. Now, in the Shastram, the Rudras, the Vasus and Adityas, they occupy a special position because they are basically, they have a priority in receiving oblations, havis of rituals. So they are called Hutabuk Devatas. They are people who have priority in receiving the oblations. Once they get, then only the other people can, other Devatas can get. Then Sadhyaha. Sadhyas are also another group of devatas. Then Vishwe. Vishwe is another group of devatas. Then Ashvinau. They are a group of two members, Ashvina Kumaras. Then Marutahas. So seven groups of seven devatas. So that is 49 of them are Marutahas. Then Ushma. Ushma is they are the Pitru devatas, and they are called Ushma because the Pitrus like their offerings to be hot. As Ushma means hot. So Ushma Paha, the one who likes hot offerings, basically Pitru devatas. Then there are other groups like Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, Siddhas, Sanghas. So Sangha is a group, right? So that's why he says Gandharva, Yakshaha, Asuraha, Siddhaha, Sangaha. Sangha means groups. So groups of other celestial beings which are known as Gandharvas. Gandharvas are the celestial musicians. They are given to arts and all that. So they are specialists in music and art, Gandharvas. Then Yakshas are headed by Kubera. Then Asuras. And if you're wondering why Asuras are there in Swarga, then you're talking about exalted ones like Virochana and Mahabali's father and all that, Prahlada and so on and so forth. Right? So he's seeing all of them and he says, Sarve eva vismitaha vikshante. Everybody is wonderstruck. Vismitaha. They're all wonderstruck. So we are seeing, multiple number of gods. And that's what the general idea in the Western world and very much in India also is that Hinduism has got multiple gods. But multiple gods theory is a very primitive understanding because from them, multiple gods means what? Ekarupa Ishvara. It's a very primitive understanding. It is for the Mandhadikari. And for Mandhadikari, you have to migrate to Vishwarupa Ishvara. And Vishwarupa Ishvara is the primary deity of our scripture, Sanatana Dharma. Because everything you see as one. Except there is a Vishwarupa Ishvara who is the whole universe. And then I am the Bhakta. That is the primary view in Sanatana Dharma. Unfortunately, if you see the papers and if you see, TV, what do we see? There's a vision of the finite Lord alone exists. So there are somebody is a Vaishnava, somebody is a Shaiva, everybody is fighting. Shaiva says, I am better. Vaishnava says, I am better. Your God is not the true God. In fact, there is a small little shloka, I it's let's see, yeah. It says, Madbhaktaha Shankara Dveshi. So this is attributed to Lord Vishnu. What Lord Vishnu is saying, Madbhaktaha Shankara Dveshi. He says, my bhakta, that means the Vishnu bhakta, who is what? Shankara Dveshi, who hates Shiva. And not only that, Madveshihi Shankara Priyaha. Shankara Priya is Shiva Bhakta. That Shiva Bhakta, Madveshihi, who hates me. So two things. My Bhakta, who hates Lord Shiva, and Shiva Bhakta, who hates Lord Vishnu. What is their destination? Tau Ubhau, both of them, Narakam Yataha, both go to Naraka. So very, very nice little thing. Lord Vishnu is saying, the one who hates me and the one who hates Shiva, both go to Naraka only. They don't go to Kailasha, Vaikuntha, or anything. So you expand your vision. Okay, now we look at verse number 23. We will chant. Rupam Mahatte Bahuvaktra Netram
रूपं
रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रम्
Mahabaho Bahubahurpadam
महाबाहो बहुबाहोरुपादम्
Udaram Bahudam Strakaralam
बहुधरम् बहुद्रष्टाकरालम्
बहुकारालम्
Valoka Pravyatitastatthaham
दृष्ट्वा लोका प्रवस्थितस्तथाहम्
So Arjuna is saying, Hey Mahabaho, oh great Krishna, Lokaha Pravyatitaha. You look at the last word. Lokaha Pravyatitaha. The world is frightened. What he actually means is, oh Lord, I am getting frightened. But he doesn't want to say that. So he says, Lokaha Pravyatitaha. People are frightened. Why? Because Dvitiyad Bhavam, Dvitiyad Bhayam Bhavati. Wherever there is duality, there will be possibility of fear. So triangular format, if you are embracing, then you have laid the foundation for fear. When will you get rid of the fear? When you can claim that I am the Atma and the world is in me. How can something which is mithya, how can it be a source of fear to me? And therefore, to get rid of fear, I have to claim Aham Brahma Asmi. I have to be standing in Paramarthika. Vyavaharika, Satyam will always be a source of fear. As long as you want to remain in Vyavaharika, claiming Vyavaharika as Satyam, there is no solution, no samsara. So he says, Drishtva te mahad rupam. Drishtva, I see. Te mahad rupam. I see that infinite size of yours, O Lord. So infinite size here has to be understood as Vishvarupa Ishvara. And then he gives a description. What is there in this infinite size? Bahu Vaktra Netram. Bahu Vaktram, Bahu Netram. So many mouths, infinite number of mouths, infinite number of Netram, eyes. And Bahu Bahu, many arms. So you have to break that up carefully. Bahu Bahu, Bahu Uru, and Bahu Padam. So Bahu is arms, Uru is the thighs, Padam are the feet. So Bahu, Bahu, Bahu Uru, Bahu Padam. I see infinite number of arms, infinite number of thighs, and infinite number of feet. Okay. Now, if you have seen in the movies, you will find that there is one entity with 1,000 arms and 1,000 feet and all that. Okay, that is not what is meant here. An entity with 1,000 feet is what? It is a millipede. So we are not saying Ishvara is a millipede. The correct idea is that all these infinite number of arms and thighs and feet, they all belong to Ishvara alone. All the stomachs, they belong to Ishvara alone. Which means that all jivas, they are all Ishvara alone. And that is why, because you say Bahu Udaram, many stomachs, that is why there is a saying in our culture, you know, whenever anybody eats, it is Bhagavan alone who is eating. And that is why giving dhanam is so, giving food dhanam is such a sacred act, because whenever you give dhanam to anybody, you are doing nothing but feeding Bhagavan only. So Bahu Udaram, many stomachs. And Bahu Dramshta Karalam. There are many mouths with many Dramshta Karalam, very fierce teeth. So fierce teeth have to be taken as those problems in my life which can hurt me. Accidents, disease, terrorists, any problem in my life, what are they? I think they're all bad things, but they all belong to Ishvara alone. So Arjuna says, Drishtva lokaha, seeing this terrible form of yours, seeing this horrifying form of yours, lokaha, all the people in all the 14 worlds, pravyathitaha, they are frightened. Why are they frightened? I said before, because they are seeing this Ishvara, this Virat Swarupa, this creation, they are seeing as something different from themselves. Whatever is different from you is capable of generating fear. Fear is based on duality alone. Tvaitat bhayam bhavati. So he says everybody is frightened and finally admits, Tatha aham. I am also frightened, O Krishna. Okay. Now we look at the next verse. verse number 24. Vasprusham diptamanekavarnam
नभस्पृशं वनेकवर्णं
vyatpananam diptavishalanetram
व्यात्तानानं दीप्तविशालनेत्रम्
drishtva pravatitantaratma
दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रवथितान्तरात्मा
Ratma
timna vindami shamam cha Vishno.
धृतिं
Vinavindami Shamam
विदामि
Cha
शमं
Vishnu.
च विष्णु.
So this is an explanation, Vyakhyanam of Arjuna's words, Tatha Aham. I am also frightened, he said. And he wants to tell Krishna why he is frightened. So he says, Hey Vishnu. So Vishnu is the all-pervading one. Vishnoti, pervasion. Hey Vishnu. Nabas Prasham. So he says, your form. And Shankara says, Prasham should be taken as, Nabas Prasham should be taken as this Prasham. Dhyu means Nabaha. Nabaha means Dhyu. Dhyu means sky. So he says, Hey Vishnu, your form is touching the sky. And not only that, Diptam Aneka Varnam. You are shining very brightly. You are very effulgent. Your brilliance is very, very, very strong because of the millions of stars and planets. Aneka Varnam. All types of jivas and planets are there in you. So planets are there, stars are there, galaxies are there. Everything that I can see in the universe is there in you. And not only that, different types jivas are also there. Walking jivas, flying jivas, crawling jivas. And Varnam can be also taken as color. All sort of colors are also there. And Shankara says this word might cause confusion. So he says Aneka Varnam should be taken as Aneka Varnaha Bhayankaraha Nana Samsthanaha. Means Aneka Varnam, many, many colors. Bhayankaraha, many fierce forms. Nana, many, many. Samsthana, many, many types of colors and many, many types of forms. And many forms are very fierce. And Vyattananam. Vyattananam is an open mouth. Right? Open mouth follows everything. And therefore he is comparing this open mouth to Kalaha. The Kalaha Tattvam, the time principle. Lord Yam. So the time principle has many negative aspects, as we all know, right? As you age, which is the effect of time, the age itself, the old age itself begins to frighten you because your organs get weaker, and against these weaker organs of yours, the whole world appears stronger. Every disease which was earlier, all diseases which were fought easily by your body because of the immunity, that disease appears more frightening to you because Yamaraj is robbing the body of immunity. Your body becomes weaker. Diseases come, loneliness comes, death comes, effect of Kalaha. So he says, Vyattanam, the open mouth, robbing me of everything. Not only that, Dipta Vishala Netram, Dipta, bright, Vishala, huge Netram eyes, Dipta Vishala Netram, you are shining bright and large eyes. So for Vishwarupa Ishvara, the eyes are supposed to be the sun and the moon, the two eyes. So you'll see this when we look at Chandogya Upanishad also. So Drishtva Tvam, this form of yours, Pravyathita Antaratma. Antaratma, the mind, my mind, is Pravyathitaha, is frightened, it is afflicted, it is disturbed. And therefore, hey Krishna, Dhritam Vindami, I don't have the courage. Shamam cha, I have become restless. Dhritim vindami na shamam. So na shamam means I have become restless. I don't have peace anymore. And na dhritim, I don't have the courage. Courage for what? to continue to see this Vishwarupa form of yours. So here is telling Ishvara, Krishna, that, hey Krishna, I know I asked for you to show me this form, but the problem is what? I am now very, very frightened. So, do you think you can get rid of this form for me? That is the idea. Now we look at verse number 25. We chant. Damstrakaralanī ca te mukhani.
दंष्ट्रकरालानि च ते मुखानि
Drishtva kalanalasinabhani.
दृष्टैव
कालानलसन्नभानि
Disho na jane na labhe cha sharma.
दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा
Prasida devesha jagannivasa.
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवासा
Okay. So, eva drishtva, having seen, drishtva eva, having seen, te mukhani, your mouth. And what kind of mouth? Damshtra karalani, your mouth with all those horrifying teeth which are coming out, protruding teeth. So remember that the protruding teeth is symbolizing all the pain that is caused by old age and death and time. Okay. And kala, you will breathe that word up. Kalaha analaha sannibhani. Kala anala sannibhani is kalaha analaha sannibhani. Sannibhani means comparable to what? Anala kalaha. What is anala kalaha? The kala agni. That kala is there. Anala means agni. Kala agni. So what is kala agni? What is the fire of time?
Easing.
It is called pralayam. Right? So, of course, Shankara also in his commentary says kala anala means pralaya kale lokanam dahak agni. That special agni which will arise during the time of pralayam, pralaya kale, that special agni which will come at the time of pralayam. What does it do? Lokanam dahakaha. It burns down all the worlds. Here Loka is not person. Here Loka is all the 14 worlds. So a special Agni called Dahaka Agni, which will come into being at the time of Pralayam and which will destroy all the 14 worlds. Okay. Now, at the time of Pralayam, remember that there is an order for dissolution. What is the order? What is the order for creation?
सूक्ष्म शरीर
No. Panchabhutani.
Akash to Vayu, Vayu to Agni, Agni to Apaha, Apaha.
Right. So during Pralayam, remember the whole procedure is reversed. So Prithvi resolves into Jalam, what? Into the seas or the water. Jalam resolves into Agni. Agni resolves into Vayu. Vayu resolves into Akasha. Akasha resolves into Maya. Okay, so this is the time of the reversal. Now remember that everything that exists today in the manifest universe is existing. Shastra says existing in Prithvi. And therefore Prithvi dissolves into Jalam. That is the Pralaya. Jalam resolves into Agni. Agni here is Pralaya Kala Agni, which absorbs all the 14 lokas. That's how this is to be explained. And then he says, hey Ishvara, hey Krishna, I am looking at this terrible mouth of yours. What is the problem? Disho na jane he. Disha means direction. Na jane. I don't see any direction at all. Your mouth seems to be there all over. Everywhere there is a mouth. Why does he say this? Because directions have a meaning only when there is a frame of reference. What is the frame of reference for any direction?
The sun.
Sun.
The sun. And what is he looking at? He is looking at the totality of creation. Ishvara. Virat Ishvara. In Virat Ishvara, where is the sun? All the suns are there, right? So when you look at the creation in totality, directions are meaningless. Even time is meaningless actually. Because time itself arises during creation. And therefore he says, Labhe na labhe cha sharma. I have no sharma. Sharma is peace of mind. So na labhe cha sharma. I have no peace of mind at all. Prasida devesha jagan nivasaha. He devaha ishaha deveshaha. O Lord of Lords. Prasidam jagan nivasaha. O Lord of Lords who is jagan nivasaha. Who is the abode of the entire universe. Prasida. May you be pleased with me, Hare Krishna. Don't have me for your lunch. Okay. So now we go to the next verse number 26. Chatvam dhritarashtrasya putraha
Amichatvam
Tvam Dhritarashtrasya putra
sarve sahaivavanipaala sanghaihi
Sarve Sahivavanipala Sanghai
Bhishmo dronat sutraputra stathasau
Bhishmo Drona Supraputrastatasau
Hasmadhyairapi yodhamukhaihi
Sahasya
Sahasyadirayodhamukhyahi.
So here, there is a peculiar thing in our lives. Supposing you want to avoid a particular thought, what happens? Suppose the same thought keeps on coming, right? Now here, what is happening? Arjuna doesn't want to see Ishvara's mouth. Virat Ishvara's mouth, Arjuna does not want to see. And therefore, what is happening? The more he is not wanting to see, the more prominent his mouth is becoming, right? And you have to remember here that the Lord's mouth here is symbolic of Lord Yama, is symbolic of Kalaha. What is the job of Kalaha? To destroy the universe. Therefore, the mouth symbolism is that Kalaha will keep on eating things, will keep on swallowing things. What is the menu? The entire Jagat, the entire universe is the menu. We are all in the universe. And therefore, you will find that some of us are in the kitchen, right? And some of us are already on the plate of the Lord, and some of us are in his hand, and some of us are already in the mouth, and therefore Swaha. So this is what is being mentioned here. The more you are afraid of old age, death, and disease, the more frightening it will be. Because old age you cannot avoid, disease you cannot avoid, death you cannot avoid, separation from your loved ones you cannot avoid. The more you try to avoid, the more frightening all this will be. You will be immobilized by the mental fear. Therefore, it is better for us to meditate upon this and understand the fact that in this world, certain things are not avoidable. Death, disease, separation, old age, they are not avoidable. Accept them. And so this is what is coming up in this particular verse. So, as I said, some of us are entering the mouth. Who are they? Dhritarashtrasya putraha. All the sons of Dhritarashtra are entering the mouth of Virateshwara, indicating that the entire race of Kauravas is soon going to be destroyed. Amihi, he says. Amihi means people in front of you, right? So, if you look at this verse, it just says Dhritarashtra putraha amihi. In this entire verse, I mean, for those who are familiar with a little bit of Sanskrit or Hindi, you will find there is no verb, right? The verse is a description of people. What is the verb? You have to supply the verb from the first line of the next verse. The first line of the next verse says that Tvaramana Vaktrani Vishanti. Te Tvaramana Vaktrani Vishanti, which means they, Te Vaktrani, your mouth, Vishanti, are entering. Te Tvaramana Vaktrani Vishanti. What is subject here? Subject is all the people named in verse number 26. That is represented the subject. What are they doing? Te Tvaramana Vaktrani Vishanti. They are all entering your mouth. And Tvaramana is Tvara means in a hurried manner. So all these people, Te Vaktrani, your mouth, Tvaramana Vishanti. They're entering in a very, very big hurry. Which people? All the people who are being named now in this 26th verse. So just remember that the verb, what they are doing, is represented by the first line of the 27th verse that you have to bring forward. Okay, now let us get back to 26th verse. So first we said all the Kaurava Putras, all the Dhritarashtra Putraha are entering. Not only that, who else are there? Sarve Sahaiva Avanipala Sangaihi. Avani means kingdom, a small kingdom. Avanipala means the king of that small kingdom. So there were very many small kingdoms which existed during that time. Sarve Sahaiva. Sahaiva means simultaneously. Sarve, all people, Sahaiva, simultaneously, along with the Avanipalas, Avanipala Sangai, they are all entering Yam. Okay, so see the irony over here. Okay, the irony is what? Why did Arjuna ask for the jnanam? What was the purpose? What was the trigger for Arjuna asking Krishna for the jnanam?
Because he was unable to decide what to be done. He did not want
That was not the main crux. The main crux was what?
Ragadvesha towards his own
Duality.
people.
He was
You have to
trying.
go back to first chapter.
He was trying
What
to avoid the fight. He was trying to avoid fighting his.
in simple words, Arjuna could not accept the fact that his beloved teachers, etc., would die. He
Yes.
could not accept the death of Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, etc. Right? And here, what does Krishna say? Bhishma, Dronacha, they also have to die. So the irony is that he asked for the wisdom simply because he did not want to accept the death of Bhishma and Drona. And Krishna is saying, oh, fact is that they will also die. Tatha asau sut putraha. Therefore, and also, Karan will also die. Karna will also die. Not only Karna and Bhishma and Drona and the Kauravas, but Asmadyehi api yoda mukhaihi, many powerful warriors in your own army. So Arjuna is seeing who are dying. He is seeing the Kauravas entering the mouth. He is seeing Bhishmacharya entering the mouth. He is seeing Dronacharya entering the mouth. He is seeing Karna entering the mouth. He is seeing all his own powerful warriors in his own army. Right? They are going to enter the mouth. And remember that in the Mahabharata, Arjuna's own son Abhimanyu dies, and Bhishma's son Ghatochak also dies. These are all stories. What is the fact that we have to take away from here? What is the teaching? The teaching is accept the facts. Death is a fact of life. As long as you refuse to accept facts of life, your life will be miserable. And that is why Krishna had said earlier, Tasmad apariharyarthe natvam shochitum arhasi. For that for which there is no solution, it is a very unintelligent choice to grieve. What is intelligent choice? Learning to accept choiceless situations in my life. For as long as I am unable to accept choiceless situations, my life is going to be miserable. And therefore, one of the most important results, the phalams of Shastra teaching is what? That my mind will be strengthened so that choiceless situations in my life I can accept. Arjuna is not ready here to face that situation. And that is why for him, Vishwarupa Ishvara is so frightening. Okay. Now we look at verse number 27. Vakrani te tvaramana vishanti
वक्त्राणि ते
Shanti.
विशन्ति
Shrakaralani bhayanakani
दृष्टाकरालानि
भयानकानि
भयानकानि
Kechid vilagna dasanantareshu
केचित् विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु
Sandrasyante churnitairuttamangai.
सन्दृश्यन्ते चरितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः
So he continues that description. We had borrowed the first line already. Te vaktrani vishanti. All these people who I named in the 26th verse, te vaktrani vishanti. They are all entering your mouth. And that too, tvaramanaha, as if they are in a very, very big hurry. And what kind of mouth? Damshtra karalani, which are frighteningly large canine teeth. And what is the effect of that? Bhayanakani. It is causing fear to me. Now, what do I see? Kechit, some people, vilagnaha, they are caught in between. In between what? Dashanantareshu. Dashanantareshu. What is Dashanantareshu? They are caught in between your frightening teeth. So there are, it's all very descriptive. And it's meant to create vairagyam, meant to create acceptance of the fact that we will die. All the bodies will die. So he is giving a description. There are torn bodies, half-eaten bodies, mangled bodies. Where are they? They are hanging between the teeth of the Lord. Right? So it's all very, very descriptive. Not only that, sandrasyante, I also see what? Churnitaihi uttamangaihi. What is uttamangaihi? You have to take that word very carefully. Uttama angaha. What does uttama angaha mean?
The head.
Upper portion of the body head.
Uttama means the important one, the best one, right? So the head is correct. What you're referring to is the head. Uttama anga means head because uttama angam is the most important part of the body. And therefore, this uttama anga, your head, what does he say about the heads of the various jivas? Churnitaihi has been made into churnam. What is churnam?
Powder.
Powder. Your heads have been crushed by the teeth of the Lord. Okay, all very, very descriptive, of course, very visual in nature. What is it that we have to take away? This is all a very symbolically conveying that there are always thousands of events in nature, diseases, heart attacks, cancer, kidney failure, pancreatic failure, brain strokes. And in spite of all the medical advances, understand that this is a play of karma. Disease and decay can never be stopped. So Shastra doesn't agree with all the scientists. So they say that, sooner or later we will stop the decay of the body. It is Shastra says that is just not possible because it is a part of karma only. Therefore, better to learn to accept them as part of your life. Once acceptance is there, disturbances in the mind become less. Now we look at 28th verse. Yatha nadinam bahavombabekaah
यथा
यथा
नदी
नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः
bahavombabekaah samudramevabhimuka dravanti
समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा
समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा
द्रवन्ति
तथा तवामी नरलोकवीराः
तथा
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 तवामि
नरलोकवीराः
सन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति
विशन्ति
विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति
वक्त्राण्यभिज्वलन्ति.
So Shankara begins this verse with a small little commentary. Katham pravishanti mukhani. How do they enter the Lord's mouth? Iti aha. This is now being said. Right? So remember, that we are not talking about the warriors alone. This is the lot of all the living beings. Why? We saw in second chapter that entire creation is nothing but two avasthas, avyakta avastha, vyakta avastha. From the Lord you have come, to the Lord you will go back. So there is always punarapi jananam and punarapi maranam. Therefore, this verse is now, in fact, the 28th and the 29th slokas are an explanation of that one word which Arjuna said, Tvaramanaha. They enter in a big hurry, right? So, two examples are given. The 28th sloka is giving an example of rivers rushing into the ocean and therefore losing their individuality. This was earlier mentioned in a very, colorful manner as Shurnitaihi Uttamangaihi. Heads are being crushed. So idea here is that rivers have come from where? From the ocean. What is the Vedantic message? That from the Karanam, the Karyam arises. And to the Karanam alone, the Karyam goes. Right? Another example is given in 29th sloka. There are small insects drawn towards the fire and they enter the fire and they die. Just like the insects, these people are also dying. So death is not avoidable for a body which is born. That is the idea being conveyed. So he says, Yatha Nadinam Ambuvegaha. Ambuvega is a small stream of a river, a tributary. Right? Ambuvega is a tributary. Yatha Nadinam Ambuvegaha. As all these small streams and tributaries, they enter the river. And what kind of tributaries? Bahavaha. Many tributaries are there. And they all enter one river only. Which is what? What kind of river is this? Samudram eva abhimukha dravanti. So Samudram eva abhimukha dravanti. Dravanti, they are all flowing. Where? Towards abhimukha means the face. So facing Samudram eva. They are all going towards the Samudram only. All the rivers, they are finally going to merge with the ocean only. Even though it may appear for some rivers that the direction is away from the ocean, remember that finally that river will go and merge with the ocean. In the same way, he says, Tatha Ami Naraloka Viraha, all these great warriors, in spite of all their, strength and security, when Yamaraj comes, nobody can stop the death of that particular person. And therefore, Vaktrani Abhijwalanti Vishanti. They all enter Abhijwalanti Vaktrani, blazing mouth. Why is it blazing? Because the fire of Kalaha. Kalaha, Agni is there in the mouth. Vishanti, they all enter. Abhijulanti has two meanings. One is blazing hot and one is bright and shining. So in the context of this verse, if you take look at the verse itself, what is the meaning? Hot or shining?
Hot.
Hot, right? So in the context of the verse, the meaning is blazing hot. However, Shankaracharya in his Bhashyam says it is prakashamanani, meaning bright. So the normal understanding which we have from the word itself is that entering a mouth which has got a blazing hot fire. But Shankara takes a different meaning. Blazing hot fire is not wrong because contextually it makes sense. But Shankara in his meaning says it should be taken as very, very bright. And why does he take it like that? Sub-commentators say that he is connecting it to the next verse. In the next verse, what happens? Krishna talks about insects being attracted to the bright fire, Prakashamanani. Therefore, he says that, sub-commentators say that Shankara takes his meaning because he's connecting it to the next verse. We can take the meaning as blazing hot here and say that, okay, it can be connected to the next verse also. Verse number 29, the last verse for today. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga.
यथा
यथा
प्रदीप्तं
प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गा
Vishanti nashaya samriddha vegaha.
विशन्ति
विनाशाय समृद्धवेगाः
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः.
तथैव
नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः
वापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः.
तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः
So another example is given. What is the idea? All living beings are ultimately going to die. Bodies are going to die. An example of small insects or other flies. So he says, Yatha patangaha jwalanam vishanti. Patanga means insects or moth or small insects which are attracted by the fire. As they vishanti, as they enter the fire, which is pradiptam, blazing bright fire. And what happens? Why do they enter? Nashaya, for their own destruction they enter. And not only that, samruddha vegaha, they rush with great speed. In the same manner, tathaiva, same manner, lokaha tava vaktrani samruddha vegaha vishanti. In the same manner, all the people in all the worlds, they are entering your mouth with great speed, as if they are just, wanting, desperate to be destroyed. So remember that Kala Tattvam, the Lord Yamaraj, is being described in these verses as a non-separatable part of Vishwarupa. It is an integral part of Ishvara. Therefore, when you accept Ishvara, you are accepting Kala also. You cannot separate time or death from Ishvara. What is the only way? There is a story of Markandeya Rishi embracing the Shivalinga to save himself from Yamaraj. And therefore, if you want to be saved from the mouth of Virat Ishvara, you have to embrace Shiva also. And what is that Shiva? Shiva here is only Atma Tattvam. In that Brahman, there is no desha, there is no place, no space, no kala, no time. As long as you are away from Atma, as long as you accept yourself as Anatma, you have to accept desha and kala as an integral part of Vishwara. The day you accept that you are Atma, neither desha can touch you, nor kala can touch you. Yamaraj cannot touch you. So we have enough time for another verse, but I think I will stop because my voice is fading slightly. So, it's better not to push it. Any questions?
So, Acharya, is there any reason that two different examples are given to address two different?
More examples, more understanding.
And Acharya, does the head being crushed to a churn, does it also can be like ego and ahankara and mamakara? Is it
No,
equal to
simple.
that also?
Jiva consists of everything. So it's just showing the depth.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So with this, we'll stop for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashyate Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti.
Om Tat Sat
Very
Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Acharya.
Very